seeing that footage on the Kiss Cam. Get a fucking room! I hope you had a good interval. Legend kissing the beer. Fucking well played. Give that guy a Pride in Britain award. Chris, my man, did you get caught in the Kiss Cam? No, unfortunately not. And so you're a lovely wife here. How long have you been together? 8 years. You got to think about that way too long, Chris. Is it going well? Yes, double thumbs up from Chris. Your wife's looking at he'll do for now. He'll do for now. Well, I'm sorry that you didn't get caught in the Kiss Cam. Stick around after the show. We do a finger banging cam about 15 minutes after the show. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That is a joke. I'm sorry. No, that's not it. That was not it. Stop it. It's not that kind of show, people. I'm shacked up now. I have a girlfriend. I mentioned her in the first half, Roxy. Yeah. We're on first name terms because she got annoyed at me recently because she saw in my phone that I have her number saved as her full name. She's like 3 years into our relationship. I'm saved as my full name. That is weird, right? I'm not a business associate. I should be saved as some cute little nickname. So I was like, okay, fine. No, I have changed it. She is now saved as a cute little nickname. No, don't judge because it is a bit cheesy. She's now saved as One Night Stand that never left. I'm allowed to make that joke. Do you know why? Because what she had me saved as in her phone, 100 times worse. We've been going out for like 3 months, okay? And I saw in my girlfriend's phone that my number was saved as Jack, then in brackets, London. What? Jacks, how many bloody Jacks? Jack Manchester is probably in here tonight. You're all Jack Manchester, fucking hell. It's an I am Spartacus moment. She's like the tech savvy one in our relationship. She's got an app for everything. She's got the Flow app, ladies. You know about the Flow app? Any of the gents that don't know about the Flow app, I'll explain. Don't worry, guys. I got this. Yeah, the Flow app is an application on the lady's telephone, and it's to do with the menstruational cycle. What? The menstrual? Wait, no, the menstrual cycle. Menstruation. Menstrual. That's the fucking chocolate stuff. I can't say it now. Menstruational cycle. No, that's wrong. Well, I fucking nailed that, by the way. Don't worry, girls. I got this mansplaining my way into it, and I literally now can't say the first word. The menstrual cycle. Yes, thank you. All of the details of the cycle when the lady's eggs. Fucking hell. I genuinely think I was about to say hatch. No, that's release is right. Not hatch, thank you. Not hatch. That's chickens. Also, am I doing the fucking diagram now? I'm literally turned into a vagina. I have no eggs. There's my fallopian canal. It was a long time since I was at school. This is why you don't send your son to an all-boys boarding school, by the way. Anyway, yes, so it's that, it's when the egg thing happens, and also when the lady is during her period, and it's all on an app on the phone. It's very clever stuff. There is only one oversight with the Flow app that I've spotted, and that is that there is not a feature on it where you can sync it up to your partner's phone. Some of you are ahead of me here. Come on, that will be an absolute game changer. I'm not saying I need all of the nitty-gritty details, but how amazing would it be if the Flow app could just ping a little alert to my phone to warn me of the 3 days each month when I should shut the fuck up. She warned me in advance. My girlfriend. She said, look, I need to let you know, like, before we start dating, I get really bad PMS. Like, I get it, 5 or 6 times a month. I was like, ooh, I'm not a doctor, but I think that might be something else. Anyway, it turns out it was something else, because actually, all this time, she had diabetes, and we just didn't realise. It's a very weird place to laugh. Just silence for the whole show, then guffawing at the thought of diabetes, a lifelong, terrible condition. Ha! We might know. Do we have any diabetics in, by the way? I should have asked that. Woo! Yeah, wave your instrument pens in the air, like you just don't care. No, do not do that. Keep hold of them, they're very important. No, anyway, so she's one of the crew, and she got, the diabetes crew, yeah, so she got diabetes at the Brits the night that I got it at fucking hell. We start this off again. She didn't get it at the Brits because it's not contagious. The night that I was hosting the group, we found out that she had diabetes because she had something called a diabetic hypo, and she passed out, she fainted halfway through Harry Styles' performance. Yes, I am aware that is quite coincidental timing. There were a few raised eyebrows, not least from me. Paramedic there trying to resuscitate her. Oh my god, her blood sugar levels are spiking dangerously. I was like, are we sure this isn't just a watermelon sugar high? Because, to be honest, I was experiencing quite a lot of the symptoms of a diabetic hypo when I was watching Harry Styles perform as well. Dizziness, shortness of breath, erection, not erection, that's not. Anyway, so yes. They were put in an ambulance and we ended up at St Mary's Hospital, which, you know, certainly made for a different vibe of after party to what I was used to. Year before I'd been hobnobbing with Lewis Capaldi and Sir Elton John. This time round I was in a hospital, my girlfriend on a bed with tubes coming out of her arms and me in the waiting room, genuinely worried that I might never see the love of my life again. Thank you. No, at that time we had no idea when Harry would be back in the UK. Thank God for that talk. No. It was a shock as well, this diagnosis, because honestly, like, she wouldn't strike you as diabetic, my girlfriend as well. So you can picture her in your mind's eye. I will begrudgingly give you this piece of information about her. Before she dated me, she was linked to fucking actor guy, quite old, a bit of a tree hugger, Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, right, no, woohoo, fucking depressing is what it is. Having to follow that. I mean, mainly depressing knowing that the only reason your girlfriend is with you is because she turned 26. I mean, also not great because I can't enjoy any of his films ever again, because all I can think about is fucking him stripping my missus. Yeah, The Departed, Gangs of New York, what am I kidding? Titanic, I can't watch Titanic anymore. It gets to the end and I'm cheering on the iceberg, I'm like, go on Rose, thank him, thank him! And obviously, you know, it's worse for her, you know, she's traded in the Wolf of Wall Street for the Labradoodle of London. Amazing, her diagnosis. She's tried to like own it, and she's tried to educate people. Diabetes Awareness Week last week, she was doing lots of stuff for that. The only time she fucked up, and it was a big fuck up, okay, she was doing an Instagram tutorial on insulin injections, which ended with my girlfriend using the phrase on Instagram Live. At the end of the day, it's just a tiny prick. And I'm so used to it now, I can barely feel it go in. The exact words that she used, because that 10-second clip ended up in every single one of my group chats, including the family WhatsApp group. It's how I discovered my dad knows how to use both the magnifying glass and the aubergine emoji. That is, by the way, the main way that diabetes affects your relationship. Like, anyone that doesn't know, your pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin, so you have to very carefully monitor your blood sugar levels. And it means if you do strenuous exercise, they can dip very dangerously low. Now, what that translates to in real life is I can now tell exactly how good of a performance I put in the bedroom by what my girlfriend is having to snap on afterwards. If I roll over after sex and she's tucking into an entire Colin the Caterpillar, I'm like, well played, bravo, nice work. If I roll over and she's popping in a single Malteser, I'm like, okay, can try harder next time. She puts on so much pressure. I asked her the other day, I said, look, you can tell me honestly now, we've been out for 3 years, so tell me honestly, when we first started dating, were there any red flags? She went, honestly, there weren't any red flags. I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. She went, there were quite a lot of rainbow flags. Honestly, I nearly spilled my mimosa. I was like, what?
No, she was having a baby.
Okay, no, I did get that quite a lot. To be fair, even more so in America. When I was living out there for a year last year, the amount of times Americans would say to me things like, Jack, we couldn't work out whether you were British or gay. I know, I was like, just because I hold down the little pinky finger whilst I'm sucking a cock. She gets couple envy as well. I don't know if anyone else gets that. She had it recently, right? We were in a restaurant in Greece. There was this old couple at the table, like properly old, ancient, both in sketches. And they weren't moving quickly, but their arches were very well supported. I'm going to keep going with these sketches jokes, by the way. My aim by the end of this tour is I want to become the first celebrity ever that is paid by a brand to stop wearing their produce. So the old couple are there at the table, right? And what happens is this old-timey song comes onto the radio. The old couple hear the old-timey song, and then impromptu, they just get up out of their seats, and they start having a little slow dance in the middle of the restaurant. My girlfriend's heart just melted. She's like, oh my God, that's the most adorable thing I've ever seen. They're probably childhood sweethearts. We don't know that. Could be a one-night stand for all we know. Yeah, that's got Tinder pump and dump written all over it. No, that would be us in 50 years' time. I dread to fucking think what the version of that is in 50 years. Can you imagine? Nostalgia for the cultural tundra that we find ourselves living through. Us in a restaurant in Greece in 50 years, craning our ear to the speaker system. Darling, I think it's our song! Cardi B WAP! Just getting up and lowering ourselves into a slap trot that we never get up from. She loves all that stuff. I've realised that's something in our relationship. We have completely different taste, which I think is quite healthy, right? Because like some people think that's what true love is when you love all of the same things and you're finishing off each other's sentences. Is it? Fuck. True love is when you love them in spite of the fact that you detest everything they're passionate about. That was a fucking glorious moment over there. Just watching you tenderly stroking your husband's arm, man. That's sauce that is, and then him looking over and nodding at me. Ah, you dragged me along to see this cunt. I'm sorry, sir. But we're the same. We are that. We can't agree on a fucking comedian. We can't agree on anything. Like TV shows. She loves this show, the one where they follow the dating lives of people with learning difficulties. Love Island. Love Island. So dumb, they made Jamie Redknapp look like Professor Stephen Hawking. I'm allowed to do that joke, don't worry. I asked Jamie for permission to do that one, don't worry, I'm not a monster. I said, do you mind if I do this gag? He was like, yeah, right, of course. Stephen Hawking, what a skateboarder. No, Jamie, right? So pretty, so who cares? And the other shows my missus loves, and there'll be other ladies in the room that are into these, right? She maybe likes watching them late at night, right? Normally if we're in bed, maybe having a little cuddle, a little spoon. Oh, what should we put on as we doze off in each other's arms? Oh, what about this? The Connecticut Cannibal! What is it with you ladies watching true crime right before you go to bed? And then having the temerity to wake up the following morning and be like, oh my God, I had such bad nightmares last night! I wonder why you literally fell asleep to a documentary about a serial killer that targets specifically diabetic women. But I can't watch anything with her, okay, because of the questions as well. I've never experienced anything like it in my entire fucking life, alright? Honestly, there are 110-year-old women in severe cognitive decline that would ask less questions than my girlfriend when watching the television. Honestly, she needs a previously on at the beginning of every scene. Who's he? What's his name again? Sorry, wait, is he a goodie or a baddie? Why has he just said that to him? Why don't we listen and maybe we'll find out? That's how a scene works! At the beginning of it, there will be some things that we don't know. And by the end of it, we will have learned some more things. These are the basic principles of storytelling. But we won't learn anything if we're talking over all of the dialogue. So how about from now on we ask all of our questions with our inside voices? Oh my God, you're so passive aggressive. I was just trying to understand. Well, fine, if you didn't want to understand, I'll just sit here in silence. I'll just sit here confused if that's what you want. Then 10 seconds of silence will before the room and I'll be like, oh my God, I think we finally made the breakthrough. Then the next scene starts and boom, on cue, it's up again. Who's she? What's her name again? Is she a goodie or a baddie? She is the protagonist and her name is Peppa Pig. You know I only like true crime. Well, we can turn it to MasterChef if you want, see what happens to Peppa in the end. I shouldn't be thrown under the bus, I know, I fucking should. Honestly, it's like, I should be standing up for her. That's my duty as her man, right? That, to be honest, is the only time in our relationship where I ever struggle, is when I'm required to be the alpha. Fuck you. What was that? No, you're right, it's a fucking, you've got a proper alpha next to you, but real fucking man. When I try and do it, it doesn't work, right? And also, I'm held to a ridiculously high standard because the fucking guy you saw just before me was like a proper man's man. He was from Huddersfield, he played rugby league, he drank fucking beer, he was getting some fights, yeah, often on her behalf. If someone disrespected her, he would knock them out. And I said to her, you know, now you're going out with me that if someone disrespects you, you're going to have to learn to take ownership. I'm cut from a very different cloth. But anyone that so much as looks at her funny now, I'm expected to start a brouhaha. Which, yeah, it's not really my style, as you may have guessed, from the fact that I use words like brouhaha. But also, I'm a coward, alright? And as a coward, I can metabolize disrespect very efficiently. She really struggles. We had one instance that happened, right? I was in Austin, Texas doing a show. We went out afterwards to a nightclub, right? We're in line for this nightclub. Picture the scene, Austin, Texas. And at the front of the line, there is a bouncer. And this guy was an absolute fucking unit, alright? He looked like an Aberdeen Angus in a suit. Anyway, he was a little bit rude to my girlfriend, but what do you expect? He's a nightclb bouncer. He has not been employed for his fun, I mean. Anyway, she's instantly on a thing. Oh my god, did you hear that? Did you hear that? He just disrespects me. Yeah, just disrespects me. Just like that. Right here. He just disrespects me. He just disrespected your girl, Jack. Are you gonna let that happen? You're gonna let him disrespect your girl like that? You're just gonna let that happen, Jack? You're just gonna stand there and let that happen? You're just gonna stand there and do nothing about it? Yep. Have you seen the head on the fucker? I couldn't inflict any pain upon this man. As a push, I could maybe hurt his feelings, but that is all I have in my locker. I am but a humble wordsmith, and whilst I am a firm believer of the idiom, the pen is mightier than the sword. We're in America right now, and these cunts have guns. Seems like none of it, all that she kept going, oh my god, can't believe it. You let him dishonor me. Dishonor, that was the word she kept using, dishonor, alright? Yeah. I was like, yes, I let him dishonor you because we were in the line for a nightclub, not medieval France. Maybe that's what I need to do, right? Next time it happens, next time the bouncer dishonors her, I just need to go full costume drama on his ass. See if that's what she actually wants, alright? Next time a bouncer is rude to her, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stride to the front of the line at Wetherspoons, right? I'm going to whip off one of my socks, I'll slap him across the face. I demand satisfaction! You have besmirched the honor of this fine young maiden. Well, today is the day that you will be forced to masticate upon your rancorous slurs, you protein-guzzling, sausage-fingered chode. I summon you to the car park immediately for fist pickups. It's time to meet your dancing partners for this evening, Lord Left Hook and Lady Lights Out. I float like a butterfly, I sting like a bee, and I've got hips like Shakira because I regularly ski. Intimidated myself there. That, to be fair, is the only tactic that I have in a fight, and I do think it was quite a good one. Honestly, if you can't beat them, baffle them, right? The only fight I've ever won, right, admittedly, on a technicality, I was at a festival, right, and I saw my friend in the mosh pit, and I greeted him by walking up behind him and giving him a hearty slap on the arse, and I made good contact as well. You know when you make good contact with an arse slap, and you can feel a couple of their vertebrae dislodge? Turned around, very much a stranger. That escalated to the point where he had me up by the scruff of the neck, and just as he was about to punch me in my face, I drunkenly whispered in his ear my safe words, Despacito. Honestly, try it. Next time you get into an altercation, don't throw punches, throw shapes. Honestly, try it. Next time you get into a square-off, someone is about to get violent with you, don't meet them on their level. Just look the guy dead in the eye and give it some of this. Despacito. Come back and fight me like a man! You will win 9 out of 10 fights. Admittedly, on the 10th one, you will either end up in hospital or getting your dick sucked, but I'll tell you what's on. You see, this is my problem, is that I'm not a violent guy, but I just do love me a little bit of mischief. Oh my god, the other one I did, right, this was not one of my finest moments. This was a while back, right, I was actually in Manchester at the Warehouse Project. Woo! Fucking little what tonight? I was fucked, okay? I got 4 beers, that's the end. A little bit of drink had been taken and possibly some additionals. I was in Manchester, my jaw was in Warrington, and I was there, right, and one of my friends dared me to undo a stranger's man bun. I was like, oh my god, that is a marvellous idea. I shall be like a vigilante, making the world a better place, ridding it of bellends, one man bun at a time. I found my prey. He was a proper like fucking lad, raver, right? He had the sleeve tattoos, the little tight jeans, little funny guy across his chest, top knot flapping around like nobody's business. He looked like a roided on My Little Pony. I stole my prey for a bit, right? I was like, right, I reckon I can get this man one off without him realising. Spoiler alert, you can't. I creep up behind him, right? And then I'm sort of drunkenly hovering above his head for a little bit, like one of those claws in the fairgrounds. At which point, I'm not going to lie, I sobered up very quickly. I managed to get hold of the man bun without him realising. Then as I popped it off, he clocked what was going on, he turned around furious, hair tumbling down his face. He was like, why the fuck did you do that? I said, because you're worth it. I definitely delivered that last line just like that. I mean, there was a lot of music, but you know, he may have heard it come out as, I'm really sorry, here's your scrunchie. Why am I showing off about that? That is fucking pathetic. Honestly, that is not behaviour becoming of a man that is teetering on the precipice of middle age. Honestly, this feels like a pivotal moment for me as a comedian. This is the last time I'm ever going to be able to stand up and get away with shit like that, showing off about drunken hijinks. Because also, as many of you are aware, I am about to reach the boss level of adulting because my girlfriend is now pregnant. Thank you very much. It's not mine, but we're working on something. This year's a lovely picture that we used to announce the pregnancy. It's just a casual snap that we took at home, you know, for family and friends at Hello Magazine. And that's the picture she wanted to use. I thought this one was a better reflection of my state of mind at the time. Oh, come on, you look like that if you just see what I saw. Can you not see the latest? No, zoom in. This child hasn't even been born yet and I'm already photoshopping it to do fucking punchlines. No, it is my kid. Here lies the problem. I'm about to be responsible for a human being and you know how ridiculous a notion that is. You guys know me. You know that I'm an utter melt. I can't even keep a basil plant alive and now I'm going to be responsible for a human being? And it's serious shit, you know, there's no trial period, there's no returns policy. You accidentally drop it in the bath, you can't just put it in a jar of rice and cross your fingers. And obviously, you know, I sought out some advice before, like I didn't, you know, take this decision lightly. I tried to ask other parents, but you can't ask other parents really, because you can't get proper advice from other parents because there is no middle ground. You ask parents about having a kid, right? One end of the spectrum, you have those parents who talk to you about it with demented enthusiasm, the miracle of childbirth, like they're the only people to have ever done it. Oh my God, you've got to get one. It's going to change your life. They're like people with air fryers. It's just a bit. Other end of the spectrum, you've got those parents that are like Vietnam War veterans. 1,000-yard stare, covered in baby sick. Don't do it, man, you weren't there. And one of this lot, like one of the arm vets, okay, drunk at a wedding, just launched into me with a load of uninvited life advice. She was like, let me tell you what you need to do, is you need to make the most of your life while you can, Jack. What's gonna happen is you're gonna get married and then you're gonna have a baby and your life is gonna be over. Okay, Mum, thanks for the joke. You are aware the sambuca you're drinking is non-alcoholic. And that better be, I can't believe it's not cocaine around your nostrils. I love my mum to bits. She's going to be an amazing granny, but oh my god, she's got madder recently. She's hit that age. I don't know whether anyone else's mum has hit this age, but every single phone call I have with her now is just her telling me about the ill fortune of a string of random people that were once tenuously connected to our family. Every single phone call now is, do you remember Roger? Your father's old osteopath? He used to sing in my choir. Not really, mummy. Dead, heart attack, 52. Well, great, my heart goes out to anyone who does remember who the fuck Roger was. And Mrs. Warwise from number 6, do you remember her? The big C got her. What, cancer? No, she was walking out of a Costa. They hadn't properly attached the sign. I managed to delay the kid decision as well a little bit by doing what a lot of men do. I got a dog first. We'd actually had some sort of personal tragedy that we'd been through together at the time, me and my missus, and it felt like at that moment the only options were either therapy or a dog. I was like, tell me about therapy. Talking to a stranger for an hour about my feelings. What breed shall we get? And we got this dog. She wanted the dog obviously for emotional support. I wanted a guard dog, alright? I wanted a proper fucking hound. Kind of dog that gives you a little bit of distance when you're walking down the street with it on the end of your lead. You go to the fucking boozer and have a couple of fucking lagers with the boys. We compromised and got a toy poodle. Fucking wanted a guard dog. This thing looks like it came out of a Kinder Surprise. It's the opposite of the guard dog. I've been abused because of my dog. I was in a pub in Walthamstow, some old geezer at the bar looked over at me and my dog, he was like, here mate, does your dog come in amends? Fucking shots fired. I wouldn't judge a book by its cover, buddy. You look at her the wrong way, she will rip your throat out. You better pray she doesn't get out of this handbag. Anyway, we got the lamest breed. I was like, it's fine, we'll make up for it with the name. Oh, do you know what she wanted to call the dog? My missus wanted to call the toy poodle Beyonce. I was like, absolutely not. No way. Try again. That's when the foot came down. I was like, absolutely no way. We're having a dog called Beyonce. I'm not shouting that out in public. Could you imagine me in a park, a little toy poodle yapping around, me being like, Beyonce! Hey, Beyonce! You come back to your daddy! No, I'm sorry. I'd sooner let the dog just run away. I don't care what my girlfriend has to say. Oh my god, Jack, what happened to the dog? If you liked it, then you should have put a lead on it. Keith's calling me his daddy as well. Oh, it's daddy, I'm his master. We will have standards in this house. She's like, no, you should treat the dog just like you treat our actual child. Straight on Google, are there boarding schools for dogs? I caught her calling it a rescue dog the other day. It's not a rescue dog, I paid a woman on the internet for it. She's like, no, but the dog rescued me. That's not what rescue dog means. This woman on the internet, oh my god, it was a lockdown dog, right? She saw us coming a mile off. Do you know what she wanted for the toy poodle? £6,000. I was like, nice to meet a fellow comedian. Absolutely no way am I forking that out for a dog. You're getting negotiated down, don't you worry about that. Anyway, we had to meet the dog first, not in person. I've been warned by other dog owners, don't do it in person, because if you do it in person, you hold the dog, you feel the dog, you smell the dog, you fall in love, you're fucked. You hand the money over on the spot. I said, we'll do a Zoom. Yes, keep a little bit of distance. So we arranged a Zoom so that Roxy could see the dog, and the woman that wanted £6,000 for it could see that I don't have the word twat there. And I prepped my girlfriend for the Zoom as well. I said, look, it's vitally important that when we get onto the Zoom with this charlatan, you don't act too keen. Because if you act too keen, you will compromise my negotiating position. So we must wear our poker faces. Cool, calm, collected, those are our bywords. The Zoom starts, the breeder holds this little puppy up to the camera, the puppy sneezes, my girlfriend instantly starts crying. Oh my god, it's the most beautiful creature I've ever seen! I'm in love! Oh my god, Jack, I'll kill myself if I can't have her! Well done, just as we rehearsed! Thanks very much, Roxy, for pulling down my trousers, lubing me up and bending me over the barrel for this woman! £7,000! I paid £7,000 for a bulking toilet brush! And a faulty one of that as well. Yeah, fucking breeder dropped him round a week later. She was outside my house, the breeder, in a new Porsche. Handing me this dog, and it was sporty. It's a beautiful creature, don't get me wrong, but it's got an underbite, it's got breathing issues, hasn't got enough nipples. Yeah, hasn't got enough does make it sound a bit like there was a number I was hoping for. I don't care how many nipples a dog has, I just know that there shouldn't be 7 of them. There should not be a prime number, there should be a divisible amount of nipples on a dog. I was like, Roxy, take a photograph of this animal's undercarriage, send it to the breeder, I want some money back. She was like, why do we get money back for a missing nipple? I don't care, make up a reason. Say it's why we bought the dog in the first place, for milking purposes. We're trying to wean ourselves off oat milk and we weren't getting enough of a yield from the hamster. I don't fucking care. Because it can't do anything either, they're completely feral. 7 grand, I was expecting it to be able to do cartwheels, make me breakfast in bed. It can't fetch, or sit, or stay. Got its own Instagram account though. Yeah. She thought that was a priority, to set it up as a dog influencer. And now my girlfriend runs the account, she posts little pictures as the dog, she sends me messages as the dog. Yeah. Sometimes that's quite sweet, sometimes less so. Especially when the tone of the messages you are receiving from your own dog are a little bit spicy. As was the case the other night, I'm in the pub with my mates, watching football, all of a sudden, my DMs are getting lit up by an angry poodle. Do you think it is acceptable to go out drinking with your friends and not tell me what time you're coming home? Oh, I don't know, Beyonce, no more or less acceptable than shitting on the carpet. I had to tell to my mates and be like, I'm really sorry, I'm really going to have to go home because I'm getting grief from Beyonce. I feel like Jay-Z, except I've got 99 problems and my bitch very much is one of them. Got a kinky message as well from the dog the other day. That by accident, I will hasten to add. Yeah, basically what happens is I post this picture of me with my shirt off on Instagram. My girlfriend goes to put a sexy comment underneath. Unfortunately, she had forgotten to switch accounts. Yeah, I open up my Instagram and underneath this picture of me with my top off, my girlfriend. Right, it was meant to be her, it was just the dog. It went, oh, I want to sit on your face. I was like, oh my God. Don't get me wrong, part of me was just like, thank fuck someone's told you to sit. It does work though, honestly it does. It's insane, just think about training you up to be a parent. And that's obviously what she was doing with the dog. I didn't realise what was going on at the time. I look back on some of the content on the Instagram of the dog. The warning signs were certainly there. What is this shit? I know, I can't, what have I become? I mean, I'm comfortable enough in myself to share this with you, but I'm not proud of it by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, we don't need that one, we don't need that one, thank you. It worked though. I wasn't a dog person at all, and this thing has thawed my icy heart. And I was like, oh my God, if I'm capable of loving and caring for this yapping, crapping, nipple-deficient ball of fluff, fuck it, maybe I am ready to be a dad. So yeah, then we decided we were going to start trying to conceive a baby, and that was by no means an easy road, not just because of Roxy's various health issues. It was a kind of bit of a bumpy ride. I don't want to be the Instagram filtered version of my life. We actually very sadly lost the baby first. We suffered a miscarriage, which is a horrible thing for anyone to go through. And I share it because it's this weird grief as well that's sort of shrouded in secrecy. And I personally found that the minute I was able to start talking about it and sharing this experience with friends and family and realising that other people had been through similar experiences, it was a huge comfort to me. And I was fucking in awe of my girlfriend as well. Thank you. Completely changed my headspace as well. I went from being like scared and bewildered and ambivalent about the idea of having a kid to suddenly like wanting to be a dad more than anything else in the world. And I also began to feel guilty that it had taken me this long to arrive at a place where I'm genuinely excited to be settling down. Because fuck me, did I drag my feet. I mean, the latter part of my 20s were a period of feckless misadventure. It was drink and drugs and casual hookups and empty, big fan over there. One of the casual hookups, it's lovely to see you again, madam. Oh fuck, it looks like I'm having 2 kids. No, it was fun while it lasts, that kind of lifestyle, but honestly, at the end of the day, you realise that there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I was chasing pleasure, and in my 30s, it was like happiness crept up on me. And also, I was very keen to not wait around too long, especially with my dad. But I really, really wanted to get on with it now, so that I could still give him a grandchild out of wedlock, just to fucking... Do you know what I mean? I know that's not the only reason to have the kid, but it's got to be a bonus just to wind the old man up. And also, even better, Roxy's from the East End of London. How brilliant is that? Michael Whitehall's going to be the grandfather to a literal Cockney bastard. Fucking shit, no, Christmas is going to be so fun. I've also obviously thought about the television potential as well. We're looking into how much it would cost to get Michael cryogenically frozen so I can pitch this to Netflix. We had the first scan the other day. I've got the due date for the first time. I'd seen the baby in the scan for the first time, which is amazing, and I can see its like nose and heartbeat and the little silver spoon in its mouth. And I asked the nurse about the due date. She got all shifty, and I was like, "So when's the baby due?" She went, "Well, yes. So the baby is going to be due sometime between the 10th of September and the 12th of September." I went, "Love, it feels like there's a date slap bang in the middle there. But for some reason you don't want to say it. That's because my baby's due date is 9/11. Which, yeah, I know, not ideal. I mean, Roxy was quite distressed about that. I tried to, be a bit more pragmatic. I don't think it's going to affect our lives in any serious way. I mean, it probably rules out the name Osama, but that wasn't high on the list. It wasn't high on the list. Well, like, some of you are pulling back from me on that comment. You do not want to hear what my dad said when I told him. I mean, obviously I'm going to tell you what he said because it was amazing. I came out of the scan and I was like, "Daddy, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news, the baby is healthy. The bad news, it does look like the due date is 9/11. And my dad went, "Well, I guess it could be worse. You could be having twins." I was like, "No!" I'll be telling Roxy that. No, I may write it down to tell the people of Manchester and someone in the Currently, by the way, I'm in that period of my life where every day now is spent spiking her terrible name suggestions. The other day she comes bounding into the bedroom. She was like, "Oh my god," I was thinking, if it's a girl, Phoenix. I was thinking, no fucking way. Is that Phoenix? Is that her? Oh, well, okay, well, no. My problem with Phoenix, she was like, "It's a cute name." I was like, "I feel like that's a stripper's name." And she went, "How would you know that?" I don't know, I've never been to a strip club in my life. I was like, "We should at least do some due diligence if we're going to call the kid Phoenix. Can we maybe Google it first?" And she was like, "Google what?" I was like, "I don't know, just type into Google top 10 stripper names." So then we had this really weird moment where we're in the bedroom Googling top 10 stripper names. There is a website with the top 10 stripper names. And you know what? To be fair to her, Phoenix is not on it. But do you know what number 1 is? Roxy. We with a family tradition. And she spelled Roxy because her dad named her after his favourite song. She was like, "Oh, we could do that." I was like, "We're not calling our kid Mambo number 5. We had 6 months as well before we started trying to conceive her. I was like, "We need to get everything out of our system. I want to do everything that we're not going to be able to do once we're parents. All the fun, reckless, impromptu shit." She was like, "Yeah, drive Route 66 or go on a safari." I was thinking more like smoke crystal meth just once, just to see what all the fuss is about. I gave in on the safari, right? She'd been banging on about that forever. I can think of nothing worse than going on a safari because we've already established this evening, I'm a bit of a pussy, alright? But I said we'll do it if we can do it on my terms, okay? I'm forking out to the top of the range safari. Like, there's certain things in life that I will penny pinch on. A safari is not one of them, alright? If I'm on their turf, I'm going to need the state-of-the-art armoured 4x4. I'm going to need the park ranger that looks like The Rock. Because you can do it on the cheap. "Oh look, that guy's offering it for half price over there." "What, you mean that man with the rickshaw and the left leg that somewhat peters out at the knee? Yeah, he's offering it for half price because he only has to take you into the Serengeti. That's not a safari, that is Deliveroo for lions." Problem is though, even if you walked out to the top of the range, but you're still staying in a tent. A tent! I didn't sleep for a week, just lying there wide awake, and all I could think was the only thing protecting me from a predator was a zip. I mean, to be honest, it was a little bit like being back on those camping trips with Mr. Chambers, but that's another story. Less Duke of Edinburgh, more Duke of York. No, fuck off. You're also not given anything to defend yourself. That was a shock. I thought I'd get a knife or a gun. No, the only thing you get to defend yourself from lions on a safari, on morning 1, they handed me a little pump-up air horn. I was like, what the fuck is this gonna do? I'm getting mauled to death by a lion. I meant to whip out my air horn, give that little toot-toot. And then what, presumably alert other lions in the area? Dinner's about to be served. All of the advice they give you is such bollocks, alright? Because I wanted to know about every single eventuality. I said, right, what do I do if an elephant charges me? Do you know what they said? If an elephant charges you, you should run up a tree. I'm not a fucking squirrel. I could maybe climb a tree and get 20 minutes a leg up and an elephant charging me with a limb. I'm not climbing any of these trees anytime soon because I don't know if you've noticed, none of them have got any branches on them because the elephants are fucking eating them all! Also, they were very strict about what constituted an airborne emergency. For example, this is not an airborne emergency. Flying out to Africa, getting up at 5 in the morning, going off on your safari, and none of the animals being bothered to wake up. You see, I would have thought that is airborne o'clock. Right, come on you lazy kids, out of the bushes. These people have paid good money to see you, it's showtime. Okay, after me, a 1, a 2, tits and teeth, a Hakuna Matata, see it? You don't get to pick it in the car with as well. They don't put that in the brochure. Had 2 of us on our safari, the car had 6 seats, you do the math. That meant that for the duration of our safari, as it turned out, we were to be sharing our vehicle with a family of 4 from Florida. My reaction exactly. Now, these Floridians? What's the word they have in Florida? Bigots, these bigots. I have to describe the physical attribute of theirs because it's important for the story, but I'm not doing so to be crass. They did have rather an abundance of junk in the proverbial trunk. I'm only pointing out, I'm not being a pop, you do you, big is beautiful, body positivity. I do not have prejudice against anyone for their size, unless I am stuck in a car with you, surrounded by hungry lions. At that point, yes, I become a little bit judgy. It turned what should have been a pleasant holiday into a white-knuckle ride every day. Trundling around the Serengeti, sat next to a man that was essentially a doner kebab in a MAGA cap. Every time I went past the lion, I'd see its head crane around, licking its lips. I banging the all-you-can-eat buffet on wheels. I felt like sushi on a conveyor belt. Roxy kept trying to put me in each. She was like, Jack, don't worry, if the lions did attack us, they would probably fill up on the Floridians first. They wouldn't have any room for us. I was like, what if we're the loose goose? You made the assumption that we're pudding, Roxy. You of all people should know you do not contain enough sugar to be a dessert. Morning two at the safari. The Floridian's wife, on a safari, remember, she came down for breakfast and she was wearing a zebra print shirt. She was like, oh! I said, absolutely not, no way, shoot, try again. I had to air horn her back into her tent. To change into something more appropriate, we were on a safari. She came dressed as prey. I was so worried about attracting the animals, I didn't even spray myself with Lynx Africa that morning. Sorry, that was the other thing, I just couldn't stop thinking about the safari. This is a bit of an aside. But honestly, how the fuck is the zebra not extinct, right? Sorry, this is a bit off topic. Honestly, what the fuck was God smoking when he came up with them? I know he did the world in 7 days. The zebra must have been done at about 5:55 on the Friday afternoon. Right, we've got all the way down to Z. Let's crack through this one quickly and we can all fuck off down the pub. Right, zebra, you're going to be like a fat, slightly slower version of a horse, and we're going to put you over there in Africa with all of the deadliest predators on the planet. Any questions? Yep, just a few. If I'm going to be out there with all of those big motherfuckers, then I'm probably going to need to blend in. So, could I have some camouflage? Well, we were thinking black and white stripes. Very slimming. Black and white stripes? Have you seen the landscape here, mate? Everything's beige. I'm not working in a Foot Locker. All of the other animals, if they want to hide, they go into a bush or up a tree. My only chance of subterfuge is getting tickets to Newcastle Juventus. Well fine, if I'm going to be out there dressed like a twat, then I'm going to need something to defend myself. I noticed a lot of the other prey, all of them in fact, have got big tusks or fishes with the horns, antlers sticking out of their heads. What were you thinking for me? Mohican? Right, so no weapon at all, just a really loud haircut. Thank you very much. That's me, is it? Stuck in the middle of a primordial feeding frenzy, looking like a lesbian barcode. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. Back to the Floridians, because I'm not done with them yet. Right. Now the other issue with the Floridians was the levels of chat, right? Fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to talk to anyone, let alone strangers. Every day, she'd be waiting in the car, fucking chit chat. She'd be like, oh, so, why does everyone want to see most on this safari? Her husband was like, I like to see a tiger. But you don't think you're on the wrong fucking continent. What about you in the back, buddy? What do you want to see most? I'd like to see my family again. Can we shut the fuck up? That wasn't even his worst comment. His worst was day 3, so proud of himself, in earshot of everyone. Through his binoculars, he was like, is that the African elephant? If it's the Indian one, it's pretty fucking lost. Honestly, in the end, the only way I could get through the week was by winding the Floridians up that the Lions were gay. He didn't like that chat at all. He was like, what in the world are you talking about, sir? I don't know what they're teaching you in schools in England, buddy, but that does not happen in nature. You do not get gay lions. Why do you think they call them prides? It's not natural. That's what they always say, the right-wing fundamentalist Christians. That's what they said. Do you remember when they announced the live-action Beauty and the Beast? And they said that in the live-action Beauty and the Beast there was going to be a gay character. Oof, the right-wing fundamentalist Christians weren't happy. They're like, no, you can't have that in a Disney movie. A man loving another man. It's not natural. Not natural. That film is about a woman fucking a wildebeest. It is. I don't think I've taken that directly from the Disney Plus description, but it's true. That's got to stop happening, hasn't it? Grown adult thing, wound up with like cartoons. It's just happened with The Little Mermaid. Well, the live action Little Mermaid, they announced that the actress playing Ariel is mixed race. Ooh, racist Twitter wasn't happy. No, you can't have that. You can't have a mixed race Ariel. She's a mermaid. She is the most mixed race character that has ever been conceived. From the waist down, she's mixed grill. What's it like worse for some racist troll, right? Okay, you're trying to play the science card. How desperately sad are you that you are trying to bring science into this discussion? I mean, seriously, you have thousands of retweets as well. He was like, it's not even scientifically possible, right? Because how would enough sunlight get down to the bottom of the ocean for the Little Mermaid skin to produce the melanin? Oh, I don't know. Why don't we ask the talking crab? Do you want to have a word with him? Although I don't think you two are going to get along, because he appears to be a Rastafarian. It's fucking make-believe, who cares? I mean, that said, I guess the only thing they are going to have to update is the ending, right? Probably can't be happily ever after. If Ariel is going to be mixed race, she's probably got to marry the prince and then get harangued by the British press and run away to do a Netflix documentary. Well, I wasn't going to go there, but since we have. Just for my own personal interest, give me a cheer for your team, Meghan and Harry. Give me a cheer for your team, Royal Family. Give me a cheer for your team, who don't give a fuck anymore. I'm very much in your camp. I feel a bit sorry for them, but I don't know. And then again, at the end of the day, to take Netflix's money to do a show where you just humiliate your family. I don't know. I like seeing more representation in all walks of life. Honestly, I saw an article recently, groundbreaking news, that Marvel had announced its first ever trans superhero. I fucking love it. The only person I felt a little bit sorry for when I read that article was the guy that came up with Transformers. Do you know what I mean? The superhero is a woman that used to be a man. Great, but groundbreaking. Optimus Prime used to be a truck. Wait till those Transformers start getting involved in women's sport. You think Piers Morgan's annoyed now? But in the women's swimming, the athlete in lane 3 has an unfair advantage because she was biologically born a man. Wait till he finds out the athlete in lane 6 was biologically born a submarine. We can all breathe a sigh of relief now that it's the only reference to the trans debate that I will be making this evening. I have absolutely no interest in going there at all. I don't understand why there's going to be so many comedians and writers and public figures that are taking a look at the trans issue and going, oh yeah, that's a hill I want to die on. Let's write me some jokes about the trans folk that I imagine are going to age like a fine wine. Fucking women's swimming, how's women's swimming become this battleground for the culture wars, which everyone has to have an opinion on nowadays? Even my dad now has an opinion on women's swimming. He is an 82-year-old man who, most importantly, cannot swim. But it's indicative of a wider problem where everyone feels the need to have an opinion about everything these days. Now, I personally like what my grandmother used to say. She always used to say, opinions are like farts. It's best to hold them in because no one's going to appreciate them as much as you. I think there's some wisdom to that. And ultimately, I realised that the reason we've arrived at this place is because we've been conditioned to be like this, because we're asked our opinion all the time. Like, far too much if you ask me. Yelp and TripAdvisor and Amazon and Uber, and every time you walk into a shop, please fill in this questionnaire, give us your feedback. You walk out of the toilet in the airport, you're met with a panel of faces so that you can tell them how much that shit made you smile. And then Twitter, which allows every half-baked opinion to be suddenly broadcast to the globe. I obviously think about it a lot more now that I'm about to bring a child into this toxic hellscape. And I think, what advice would I give them? I think the very simple piece of advice that I would give my kid, and I give it to everyone, is this. I think what people need to learn is that sometimes it's okay to let the people who know what they're talking about talk about what they know about. I accept there's a few things that I am ill-informed of, and therefore there are going to be a fair few discussions that it is probably best that I just sit out of. Now, I'm not saying don't hold opinions, it's vitally important to have opinions. I'm just saying you don't have to have an opinion about everything. Every now and again, very, very rarely, there may come a time when you can genuinely add something of interest to the discourse. But in the meantime, wait your turn, pick your moment, and in the nicest way possible, shut the fuck up. That was a very long-winded way of me saying, I don't want to read any negative feedback about this show on Twitter afterwards, okay? I see it all. You're going to be, I'm sure, nice. You've been a wonderful audience. Honestly, for a fucking Wednesday night, this is insane. Always Rely in Manchester, one of the best nights of the tour. You've been generous with your laughter, but you know what? You've also been honest with it, and I appreciate the honesty of it as well. I appreciate the honesty even more, having spent a month touring this show in America, where I'm not going to lie, after a while, the levels of demented enthusiasm began to grate. You can't trust the audiences out there. I genuinely don't trust a crowd full of American floozies. I began to miss this, a proper, frigid British audience. Yeah. I had to fucking earn your laughter. The way that it should be. Even our pregnancy announcement earlier. You say that you're having a baby in America. Oh my God. They're whooping and hollering and fucking waving their clothes in the air. People letting off firearms at the back of the auditorium. A couple of people getting pregnant themselves. That's really exciting. I told you that I was having a baby earlier. Yes, there was a smattering of applause, but there was also a load of blokes looking back at me, arms crossed, going, you know who else had a baby, Jack? Fucking everyone! I've spent too long out there, that's the truth. I have. I've spent too long in America, and I was surprised by how homesick I began to get. Like, the worst moment, this was the bleakest point, and it was last year. We'd been trying to do long distance, me and my girlfriend. We'd been on the phone, had a bit of a row, hung up. I was feeling so sad and so alone. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take myself out. I'm going to treat myself to a nice meal, wine and dine myself. That will put me in good spirits. And I get caught off guard by this ridiculous Americanism, okay? I go to this restaurant, I put my name down for a table, and the waitress walks off. She comes back 5 minutes later, and she uses my name out loud in the most depressing sentence that I've ever heard it used. She walks out, she goes, Jack Whitehall, party for one. pity party for one is, I have to do the longest walk of shame through the restaurant that you've ever seen, as if the walk of shame couldn't be any more depressing. As I'm doing the walk of shame through the restaurant, this comes onto the radio.
Hello, it's me.
She sits me down at the pity party for one. She then does that thing. Why do waitresses feel the need to do this if you're eating on your own in a restaurant? She walks over to my table and then makes a big song and dance of removing the place sitting opposite me. Why do they do that? As if to say we wouldn't want anyone looking over here and accidentally thinking that you're waiting for someone. No, I need everyone in this establishment to know that you're probably gonna die alone. Why don't I just get my chair then and stick it up against the wall so I don't accidentally make eye contact with any of the happy customers? Or bring a to-go bag out, I can put it over my head. Or better still, look, there's some space down here underneath the table. Why don't I just have my dinner down here like a dog? It's now a good time to mention it's my birthday. Discern any allergies today, or should I just put people? She then asked my second least favourite question in a restaurant. Would you prefer bottled water or tap? Oh, well, when you put it like that, why do they always have to frame it in that way? All water's come through a tap technically at some point, even the posh shit in the bottles. How do you think it got in there in the first place? This waitress wasn't out in a field this morning skipping through it, dunking them into a babbling brook. No, but they say tap because words have power, and tap conjures up an image, doesn't it, of some rusty tap out back in an alleyway, the waitress walking out there with a mangy pail of water to fill it up as some sweaty sous chef douses down his nether regions after a hot chef. Okay, maybe I have quite a bit of imagination, but you get the point. She then comes back with the menus. By this point, I thought she was taking the piss. She's like, okay, sir, well, we serve things here family style. Well, jokes on you, love. This is my family style. I went to a boarding school. She's like, you're not going to be interested in any of this first page of our menu because these are all of our sharing plates. Oh my God, I get it. I haven't got any friends. She's like, here we are, sir. This is more your area here. Wines by the glass. Wines by the glass. I was so smug. I was like, oh, madam, you've really misread this situation. You see, I am British. I may eat for a party of one, but I drink for a party of five! This is the encore. I couldn't be bothered to walk all the way over there and back. This shit is tiring nowadays. I'm an old man. It's fucking exhausting, even in a pair of Skechers. I fucking love that, by the way. I love that we live in a country where you can get away with that, where you can order a bottle of wine at lunch and not be judged for it. Oh my God. The picture of the jolly day drinker fucking at Freight Island polishing off a bottle of rosé before 1 p.m. Stick that shit on the £10 note. Honestly, that is the reason, and reasons like that, I can never move to America permanently. And I very, very nearly did. By the end of last year, I was about to make the move out there permanently, and then at the last minute I pulled out. Ironically, because I failed to pull out in another situation. No, ultimately, I realised I think I want to live here. I want to settle down here. I want to raise my kid here. Whisper it quietly. I like it here. And I don't mean this in like a jingoistic way, alright? There's enough people in this country that tell you that you should love it in a very specific way. And ultimately, I think there's a whole host of different reasons that we can love where we live and who we are. And for me, I realised the longer I spent away from Britain, the more it was the weird, random, mundane shit that I began to miss. LA is 365 days a year of sunshine. I began to miss drizzle. I fucking love being sat in a beer garden, huddled underneath an umbrella, being battered by horizontal rain in the middle of July, being the designated person to lean over and switch on the heater every 50 seconds, to warm a bunch of mates that have been rinsing me for the last hour and a half about my dog's Instagram, or a night in with a Nando's on delivery watching some batshit segment festival that you come back from with food poisoning and trench foot. I cannot wait to get my first mosh pit with little baby Phoenix strapped to my chest. I went to a parody of a music festival in California called Coachella. I heard a woman at Coachella complaining because they had ran out of hand sanitizer in the VIP area. I was like, love, I was at Parklife once and I saw a woman high on Molly in the jet squatting in front of a urinal using a crock as a she-wee. It's wonderful to see you again, madam. I didn't recognize you until just this moment. I miss living in a country full of men like Chris, unbleached, unmanscaped, unstoppable. A nation that doesn't care about designer labels or who's wearing who. Well, the biggest fashion story of 2023 was that Primark were doing a collaboration with Greggs the Baker. They did a sportswear range. Have you got any idea how much of a middle finger that is to the wellness industry? Turning up to the gym in the same packaging as a sausage roll. I miss our shit food. Steak, baked Scotch eggs, a breakfast of champions, washed down with a gallon of milky tea from a Sports Direct mug that's the size of my head. And gravy, rivers of gravy. We have gravy so much in this country, we're not going to pour it out of a poncy little jug. We are a maritime nation, and our gravy should arrive at the table in a fucking boat. And it shall be served to us without the hint of a smile. God bless the complete absence of customer service in this country. Being asked in America how my meal was in between every single fucking mouthful. The joy of coming back to Britain and being so